Campaign Against Racism and Fascism, or CARF, holding a series of rallies on Saturday, November the 20th, 2021, and they're meant to be indirect counter-rallies to an anti-vax day of action. First things first, I'm here to unequivocally recommend, nay, encourage, nay, demand your attendance. See you there, you filthy fucking socialist, far-left extremist. Get out there and show some numbers, you fucking pinko fucking commie. It's been a long time sitting around at home for many of us, and we are dusty. So, really we're movement rebuilding right around now. But the build will be a lot slower if you don't get off your ass and attend these rallies. As always, we need you there because movements aren't things that other people build. They're something that you build with your boots or whatever shoe wear you prefer. But I have to frame my endorsement of these rallies properly because, for one, I've previously done a video explaining my perspective on why anti-fascists aren't countering these events just a couple of months ago. So question one, which we'll get to first, obviously, is why change your tune, Taniki? Let's discuss that. Later on, question two, if you watch my shit consistently, you already know that I don't say the same thing about the anti-lockdown movement that CARF are saying on their flyers. So question two is, where do you disagree? And why? So question one, why change your tune, Taniki? I previously commented in video at a time a couple of months ago when anti-fascists weren't countering these events. One reason I gave was the virus. Surprise, surprise. We stayed at home because of low vaccine coverage. Danger to the more vulnerable among the community from a real, not hoax virus. And, not wanting to contribute to the prevailing climate propagated by the anti-lockdowners of going, fuck it, I don't care about the community because I feel mad about shit. And another reason I offered was that there were simply better things to do, in my view. And, at those times, in fact, these things continue to be the most important of all, and some real grassroots frontline stuff, and they're done by heroic activists. And I'm talking about stuff like mutual aid, community care, feeding the fucking homeless, heaven forfend, caring for broke people during a pandemic and so on. Indeed, it's my intent to do a video saluting those heroes at some point in the near future. So effectively, I was saying, fuck the showy shit, the spectacle shit, the real action's happening over there. Another reason I offered was that the anti-lockdown movement, in my view, is a very mixed bag, as in they're not all far-right, white, bad racists. I'll look more at that difference of analysis or description in the second question later on. But for now, the question is, why change your tune? What's changed? Well, for one, the events of October and November. Remember, these counter-rallies, with the first, I think, being called in Melbourne by CARF, were organised right after the anti-lockdown movement in Melbourne targeted the CFMEU. Let's step back, shall we, and look at the big picture here. I don't care for these purposes if that union's leadership in particular fucking sucks. Mate, if you didn't expect a different response from the organised left after trashing the headquarters of a prominent union, you don't know the first fucking thing about the left. I'm not one for sacred cows, but if there's any of those for the organised left, unions are probably one. That was a bridge too far. These cunts ceased to become a minor irritation or an idle curiosity for uninvolved lefty activists who simply disagreed at that point. Look at who copied that strategy 2 weeks after it happened in Melbourne. Nuova Forza over in Italy, the fucking fascist party. They went on to trash a union headquarters over vaccine mandates. They copied Melbourne. Whether you are led by the far right or you are merely manipulated by certain far right elements, once you're doing an organised attack on workers' unions, the outcome is the same. You are a danger. I've also seen them begin to attack people at vaccine clinics. That also is unforgivable. A bridge too far. When my friends who are tireless incredibly hard-working nurses working to vaccinate people, including the homeless, and they tell me that they're being abused and spat on. Unforgivable. A bridge way too fucking far. The other day we saw some cunt rock up with a bow and arrow outside Parliament House. I don't really care if you've threatened Dan Andrews, frankly. That's not my fight, and I'm sure he'll survive. But what the real danger here is the way that the anti-lockdown movement then absolves itself of all responsibility. Look at my last video. I showed you months of examples of them specifically talking about bows as a weapon against anyone who disagrees with them. What's their response? He was an actor. He's got a profile on Star Now. That must mean it's a false flag. I'm so tired of hearing hard-working people in healthcare, the real front line of the pandemic. I'm so tired of hearing them getting abused and attacked. I am done. I've had enough. I am going outside now. Now, I have people, anti-lockdown movement members, have encouraged me over months to help solve these issues from within. And right now, I say to that, you have had 20 months, almost 2 years, to resolve this systemic issue within your movement. The Nazis of the National Socialist movement are quite literally welcome at your rallies. I am not. What does that tell you? People who pose a danger to the lives of seasoned left activists have a starring fucking role at your rallies. Wake up. We have never been safe or welcome among you. And I'm sorry, because I know that there are some among you who have tried very hard, but in truth there just weren't enough of you, and your hopes for the movement were not aligned with the real direction it was heading in. Now your movement targets workers' unions, nurses at vaccination clinics, small business owners, checkout chicks, baristas, doctors. It's fucking irredeemable. In most cities these aren't even direct counters. You know, we're not giving anyone what they want with this showy standoff shit, you know, with a line of coppers in between. I know they'd love that. Some among them anyway. I've seen a lot of hero anti-vaxxer types. A lot of these cunts being all threatening and shit over the past few days or weeks. Like, oh yeah, we'll see you on the day. We'll see who's tougher then. We'll see what you can do when you're really in the ring and you have to really be there. Then you're going to want a safe space, aren't you? Mate, I've been copping tough guy threats from tough guy activists since Reclaim Australia. Back when you were on your ass throwing fish fingers at a current affair because you saw any old protester on the telly. Now you think you're Guy fucking Fawkes, mate. Suck me off. Suck me off completely. Suck me off so hard that there's a black hole there, a vortex instead of a cock. Your entire mental narrative is the last 20 minutes of the Braveheart movie, cunt. Nobody's gonna fight you, mate. We're gonna have a rally and we're gonna create a space for people who are sick of you cunts. Is that okay? We're not fighting you fucking morons. Get over yourselves. Go jerk off to the Braveheart speech, cunt.
I am William Wallace, and I see a whole army of my countrymen before me in defiance of tyranny. Run and you may live, fight and you may die.
Yes.
Lying in your bed many years from now, from this day to that, what would you give to come back for just one chance
Powerful.
to defeat these politicians on the field and redeem your freedom?
Another reason I've changed my tune, greatly increased vaccine coverage, loosened restrictions. It's a very different lay of the land to just 2 months ago in September 21 when I last touched on the subject. We are approaching, like it or not, endemicity. What does that mean? It means the virus is staying with us for good. Now, to my mind, If COVID normal involves the unfortunate continuing agitation of a movement which leaves itself wide open to the manipulations of far-right shitheads and opportunistic grifters, well, unfortunately, better or worse, COVID normal's also going to have to involve me showing up to say fuck that wherever I can. Obviously, the organisers of these rallies must ensure that social distancing is enforced. I've been to plenty of rallies during the pandemic. Everyone's got a mask and there's sunny on everywhere. And look, they're not too thrilling, but fuck it. I said at the start, we're just movement building, finding our feet. It's early days yet. Don't expect fireworks. And we're not going to endanger ourselves and others just so as we can do proper rally theatre with no attention paid to communal safety here. We're not like that. Leave that shit to the anti-vaxxers, you know. And if you are immunocompromised or know people in your household who are, you may have concerns about attending, and I get that. I'm not going to argue with you. Your COVID normal in accepting endemicity may look quite different to others for quite some time. You're obviously going to have to make many judgment calls about that in the coming year, not just for a rally here and there. But I will say also, I've seen some amazingly effective and safe COVID-era outdoor rallies. Anyone remember the Black Lives Matter events? They were incredible. So I have every confidence that CARF can do it, because one thing they do well is coordinate when they put their mind to it. I've literally seen these people fucking somehow magic 40 or more cars out of thin air to get carloads of people in the middle of the night from Broadmeadows Station out to the middle of the Hume Freeway so that we could counter Lawrence Southern's event. Seriously, if CARF can do that, then they can probably ensure that a rally is COVID safe. Question 2, where do you disagree? CARF are calling it a far-right led movement. Not me. I haven't agreed for a long time with anyone saying that. I've been fighting about it on Twitter with people, writing articles about it, doing videos loaded with direct footage and observations of it for going on 2 years now. I know my shit. I don't think anyone else in Australia has been more prolific than me on my writings and videos and observations about the anti-lockdown movement. And I say, my perspective is, it's a conspiracist movement fundamentally. It's an ideologically malleable movement of pill dupes in Telegram groups day to day, trading bullshit fantasies back and forth. They don't even have to align with each other. It's the trade that matters. That's the nature of conspiracist scenes. And then it's kind of ruled over by a constantly rotating star cast of influencers and manipulators. And the thing about that is that it's often like an Avi Yemeni type figure leading them around. And because he's really just a scamming opportunist, they're really just being led up the garden path in that case and into, donating to Rebel News again and again. But other times, they get led by people like Harrison McLean into doing something so classically fascist that I don't care what you say, my friends. You just did the far right's job for them with a big smile on your face. So I say it's conspiracist and gullible and therefore wide open to the manipulation of the far right, whereas CARF are saying it's far right. Now, frankly, right now, when it really counts, I don't give a fuck whose description is more impeccable. Frankly, my guys, if the only grounds on which I would attend a rally is if the organisers of that rally have perfectly described my politics, see you later, because I'd never be attending a rally ever fucking again. No, the left is not a monolith, any more than those other fuckwits are. And frankly, CARF can say it however they like. I'm not going to attend a cult, I'm going to a fucking action. I'm not going for that. I'm going for all the reasons I've just talked about. That's what a coalition looks like, We don't all have to be replicas, mate. We just have to stand up at the same time. I want to be a good comrade. I want to get out again safely when I can. I want to tell cunts to get fucked. I want to build numbers. I'm tired of the anti-lockdown movement occupying an empty stage and pushing the narrative that they're only naysayers as state politicians and riot cops. No. We are their neighbours, and we are tired of their shit. And we want to tell the world. And I want you there alongside me. CARF rallies are being held in the following states: Melbourne, Saturday, November the 20th, 12 p.m. at the 8 Hour Monument, corner of Russell and Victoria Streets, link in the description. Brisbane, Saturday, November the 20th, 11 a.m. at King George Square, link in the description. Sydney, Saturday, November the 20th, 11 a.m. at Sydney Town Hall, link in the description. Perth, this one isn't being organised by CARF, but definitely an affinity group. Saturday, November the 20th, 11:30 a.m. Location to be announced. The link is in the description. Keep an eye on the event descriptions because these details can always change in the days leading up to the events. And also, if I hear about any other events in other cities, I'll definitely add them into the description. So send them through, on my other socials. And I'll announce them on my socials via Twitter and Instagram as well. See you there.